This content is based on telepathic communication between the 9th density collective of Ra and their conduit, Joe. Welcome to the Book of Anu. Planet Earth has entered a period of significant change, with many potential timelines now converging into what we refer to in this book as New Atlantis and New Lemuria. Awakening starseeds are strongly attracting and manifesting a new Lemuria, which will grow in strength and become the main timeline for this planet. This is happening on two levels. New land will form in the oceans, and humans are becoming a match to the Lemurian energy frequency. Gaia is following her own ascension blueprint, and a positively polarized 5th density planet will undoubtedly bear similarities to ancient ones. Remember, ancient Lemuria was not a 3rd density civilization, but a 5th density one. The surface of planet Earth has since dropped in density. In this chapter, we will focus on New Lemuria and only briefly discuss New Atlantis. Let's start by discussing the new geographical landmasses expected to form. Energetically, these new islands will bear the frequency of ancient civilizations, but this doesn't mean you will walk on the same sand and rocks that made up the lost continents. Land will form where Gaia finds it necessary to release steam and pressure. What the map of the planet will look like in a century is less important than the consciousness level of the beings that will inhabit its surface. While it is possible that some ancient Lemurian structures may break the ocean surface, New Lemuria should be understood as an energetic reappearance. However, we do expect new land to form in the Indian Ocean, not far from where part of the lost Lemurian continent lies dormant on the ocean floor. Among humans, there are many theories about Lemuria. Some say it existed millions of years ago, while others suggest it existed around 30,000 years ago. Numerous theories have been proposed, and since there are no records, you have more questions than answers. Some claim Lemuria was located in the Pacific Ocean, while others argue that the Indian Ocean was home to the empire. Always remember the nature of the game you are playing. Right and wrong do not apply to this universe. Contradictory theories may carry the frequency of truth to the person expressing and believing in them. The Arcturians hold a distinct perspective due to their significant interactions with the Lemurian civilization. Lemuria spanned across the wider Pacific Ocean, comprising 3 equally important queendoms with distinct cultural nuances. The 3 queens of Lemuria, alongside the 3 princes, were part of a unified empire, drawing energies from the 7 sisters in the Pleiades. Lemuria was divided into 3 regions, one in the North Pacific Ocean, another in the South Pacific Ocean, and the third in the Indian Ocean. Still to this day, numerous islands once under Lemurian rule hold this memory, with some indigenous people preserving it. While the main population centers have been lost to time and submerged by the ocean, the energy of the Seven Sisters persists. Lemurians still inhabit higher density underground pockets, enduring to this day. The Arcturians had much contact with the queendom closest to the portal Solterra I, located in modern-day Java, Indonesia. We refer to the Lemurian queendom that flourished in the Indian Ocean, south of India between Indonesia and Africa. This civilization had close ties to the star system you refer to as Taygeta. However, youth from all three queendoms traveled to Solterra I and studied the Law of One under Arcturian mentorship. Avatars in the physical realms often want to know when certain events took or will take place. However, we avoid this topic when speaking with humans, since you tend to think in terms of linear time. To humans, events must take place one after another, with a beginning and an end. This is not how the cosmos is coded, and you will understand this better once you have ascended to the semi-physical fifth realm. We want you to understand that Lemuria still exists, just like Atlantis, ancient Egypt, and Hyperborea. The question is whether you are a vibrational match to that frequency or to something else. People often think of a civilization as the geographical land where people lived, the laws and rules they abided by, and the events that formed their history. To us, a civilization is an idea, a game following cosmic code. You can decide to play the game of Lemuria, where you, as a mother soul, connect a soul fragment to an avatar emanating Lemurian light. The goal is to consciously reach a higher consciousness, but that either works well or doesn't. Consciousness is a constant. It always flows, but attaining greater access to the stream of light is part of the game. With each decision, the chessboard changes and the figurines move places. This means that your Lemuria will be different from what other mother souls have experienced, since your set of pre-birth plans is uniquely yours. So it is quite irrelevant to discuss when Lemuria existed, since it exists now, did so in the past, also in the ancient past, and will exist forever in your future. Are the Earth changes and the formation of new Lemuria up to humans to decide? Yes and no. It is up to you to decide how you wish to live as a Lemurian being in your present age. It is up to Gaia to decide where new land will form and how the new fifth density chessboard will look. Many soul fragments are incarnated in human avatars with the pre-birth plan to create a new Lemuria and live that experience. This does not mean that you will dress as ancient Lemurians did or live like them. It doesn't mean that monarchy will be the norm or that women will rule. On the contrary, in your coming Lemuria, men and women will be equal, and individuals and collectives will rule themselves and self-regulate. This is the Lemuria that you will create. You manifesting New Lemuria today are not of Pleiadian descent, but humans on the verge of becoming Homo luminous. Thousands of Lemurian civilizations have existed, and each Lemurian being has their own picture of what their civilization was all about. New Lemuria means leaving behind the national identities that people today carry as passports and embody as beings. A greater sense of being part of one humanity is forming. This is the Lemurian idea, the oneness that allows freedom and individuality without losing the strong sense of unity of being part of one planet. The fifth density Lemurian idea is that all beings, animals and plants are part of this oneness. This is where the essence of Homo luminous, service to others, is to be found. Lemuria is the next step for positively polarized humanity. We are not talking about creating a heaven on earth. As we have said before and will say again, the fifth density is not comparable to your idea of heaven. There is still polarity, contrast, conflict, and wars in the semi-physical densities 5 to 8. From our ninth density perspective, Lemuria is a frequency that avatars on the positive path of service to others create as they undergo an in-body ascension and live in the upper fourth and lower fifth density bandwidths. New Lemuria is the human society that leads to a solid, positively polarized fifth density future. New Atlantis, on the other hand, often leads to a negatively polarized fifth density reality. In this context, New Atlantis refers to the current pathway many humans are on today, characterized by a strong emphasis on technology and the mind, a lack of inner coherence, and predominant service to self aspects. Your future is like tuning in the right channel on an old radio set. Given the frequency, the society that forms will bear resemblances to past civilizations. However, this society can be reptilian, insectoid, humanoid, or aquatic. The energy will remain the same even if the society naturally looks much different. The ancient Pleiadian society is what most humans think of and refer to as Lemuria. That particular energy was the most beautiful this planet has seen under humanoid control. The Andromedan energy that still emanates from India today was of a higher vibrational frequency than Lemuria. However, Andromedans were more akin to visitors, not settlers. In that context, it is appropriate to point out that our Arcturian energy is shining from the 7th and 8th densities. But we are also not native to your planet and have never resided there. The Arcturians are teachers, coming and going. What we mean to say is that Lemuria is by no means your end game, but rather the next logical step on the ladder of consciousness. The forthcoming Earth changes will eventually result in the formation of new islands scattered across the oceans. We refer to this emerging timeline as New Lemuria. Some things are certain. Gaia supports a new humanoid version of Lemuria. The energy will be of 5th density, but most humans will have 4th density bodies in this incarnation. Remember, even if the Earth changes result in planetary ascension, Gaia shifting focus from the 4th to the 5th will take years and even decades. This is what we mean when we use words like fast, imminent, and soon. You will live with these changes and have time to adjust to them. However, during this period, there will be 3 waves of ascension as described in Chapter 6. These waves serve as both accelerators for change and filters for soul fragments, placing each fragment onto their respective paths based on their achieved awareness level and chosen polarity. Since we, the 9th density collective of Ra and the Arcturians, are teaching unconditional love and focusing on the positive polarity, we do not wish to delve into what the negative polarity will create for themselves. Their destiny is their own. It is sufficient to say that for a long time you will live side by side but separated. However, even if both groups are ascending, your frequencies are very different. Therefore, the bifurcation will accelerate, and we will see both New Atlantis and New Lemuria emerge as territories, cultures, civilizations, and ideas. However, New Lemuria is the timeline supported by Gaia. That decision is made. It is your destiny and firmly coded into the matrix. Until next video, please remember that New Earth is created by you, only you. This is your starseed mission, and so it begins.